My name's Emma. I'm a junior at the University of Utah, and I had the privilege of studying abroad in Italy this summer for 4 weeks. So it was about 28 days from July 10th through August 6th, and I'm just going to be going over my cost breakdown for the month. So yeah, let's get started. So I studied abroad with a CIEE Summer in Rome program. It's an affiliate program through my school. And to apply, it was a $300 fee, and the program itself cost $3,950, which is a lot of money, but it did cover a lot of things. So to begin with, it covered my apartment for the month. They picked us up from the airport and shuttled us to the apartment. It included a guided tour of Rome, transportation, and a day trip to Florence, which included a tour, a light show at the Forum of Augustus, a tour of the Colosseum, gelato 2 times, which is amazing, a tour of the Rose Gardens in Rome, and a pizza making class, which was amazing. And then I also took 2 classes while I was in Rome. I took an Italian language course, which was 1 credit hour, and then I took a mythology and architecture course, which was 3 credit hours. The things I really loved about these classes was most of the time was spent out in the city exploring and actually using the skills and learning about real life situations versus I feel like a lot of other programs might have done it in the classroom more so, which I really loved about this program. So for instance, to practice Italian, we went to a cafe and ordered food and had a nice little cute date there. And then for my mythology and architecture class, we went to a ton of museums. We went to like Palatine Hill, where our professor had actually done like work there, which was awesome. So he got us into some really cool places that a lot of people aren't like allowed to go. Like we got to go under the Temple of Apollo, which was amazing. I cannot explain how awesome it was. So that's what I really loved about this program specifically. So it was expensive, but in my opinion, totally worth it. And then I also had to pay for an extra insurance through my school, the University of Utah, which was only $49.52. So it was expensive, but definitely doable. Luckily for me, I received the Gilman Scholarship. You have to be Pell Grant eligible, and then you have to write a few essays, and I think have a few letters of recommendation. And I received $4,000, which was incredible. I can't imagine paying for everything out of pocket. So I used the $4,000 to pay for the $49.52 fee for the insurance through my school, and for the program fee, which was $3,950. So far I've only paid $300 out of pocket, and that's for the application fee. Now I had to pay for my flight, which was expensive. It was $1,238.17. You can definitely get flights cheaper. Mine was during peak tourist season, so it's going to be more expensive. And I also paid for travel insurance in case anything happened to my luggage or any of my flights got canceled or I needed to cancel them, which was an extra $200. So it would have only been $1,000 without it, which is more manageable for sure. If I were to do it again, I would not buy that insurance, but you know, what can you do? So total before I went to Rome, I paid $1,538.17 out of my own pocket. And now I'm going to go into what I brought to Rome. So I'd been saving for this for quite a while, and before I left to Rome, I had $1,370.17. And I'm very lucky. I have a great support system, and my grandma gave me $200 to spend in Rome, and my mom gave me 400 euros. So we had gone on a European trip the year before, and we had 400 euros left over, and she just gave them to me to spend while I was in Italy, which is amazing. I love them so much for that. That was awesome. So total going to Rome, I had $1,970.17. And now I'm going to go into how much I spent while I was in Italy. So total, I spent $2,320.26, which is a ton of money, but it's including a lot of things. So it's including transportation. We went on a lot of day trips and weekend trips. So we went to like Pisa, Florence, Venice, Livorno, Sorrento, Pompeii, Herculaneum. So we did a lot of trips. Um, so it definitely added up transportation wise. And we spent the night in a lot of places, so we had to get Airbnbs for the night. It's also including food. Italian food is amazing, so had to buy a lot of gelato, a lot of pasta. Can never go wrong with any food you eat there. It's also including souvenirs, gifts. I had to buy a pair of Birkenstocks because I was walking around so much and my feet were on fire with the shoes I brought. So I just bought a new pair of those while I was there. So just random things I had to get over the month. Oh, and I also had activities I bought. Like I did a guided tour of the Vatican, which you could have decreased that a lot by just buying the entry fee and exploring it on your own, which would still be amazing, but I don't really know much about it, so I thought it would be extra helpful to have a guided tour. And I did the early morning version, which was even more money, and it was still busy, so yeah, I'm not sure if it was worth it in the end, but it was still an incredible experience. So you could definitely bring your expenses down for the month by eating in more, buying more groceries, but I kind of just went all out. And then I also paid when we went on group trips to some of the places like Pompeii and Sorrento and all those other towns. We would take turns buying meals because we didn't want our waiters to split up like 8 people all the time. So we would pay for a meal and other people would Venmo us. And then I had to Venmo some people in return because they paid for a meal. So that's where I'm getting the $2,320.26. And from people Venmoing me from when I paid, I got $448.35 back into my account. So total for the month that I spent in Rome was $1,871.71. Now I'm going to do like a little summary of everything I spent and how much I had coming back. So I brought to Rome $1,970.17. And then I spent $1,871.91. So I had to pull $63 out of my savings account, even though I had cash, because I would leave it at the apartment sometimes because I didn't want to take all my cash out at once, or I just didn't want to pay with cash because we were in a rush, stuff like that. So I ended up having $161.26, and those were all the euros my mom had given me prior to the trip, so I just gave them all back to her, what was left over of it. So I spent everything I brought to Rome, or to Italy. You could definitely make it cheaper if you budgeted a little better than I did, but I was 20 in Italy and I was like, if we're gonna go out, let's go out. So that was my experience, but it was totally worth it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. So here's the total I would have spent out of pocket for everything. It would have been $7,409.60 up front, with no scholarships, with like no parents helping, any of that. And then I did get the Gilman scholarship, which was $4,000, and that brought my total down to $3,409.60. That's including what my mom gave me, my flights, what I spent while I was abroad. Any of that is included in that price. So yeah, total for the month I spent $3,409.60, which is a lot of money, but the flight was expensive, so that's a big chunk of it. And I did eat a lot of pizza and nice pasta while I was abroad. So yeah, I wouldn't change any of it. It was an amazing experience. I loved Italy so much. I would go back right now if I could, but unfortunately I can't because I'm in nursing school. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'll leave them down in the comments and we'll be replying if there are any. And yeah, thank you so much.